Hallihallo, Kaso wieder hier. Wir waren bei Brontes Blitz und sollten mit Jordin sprechen. Es geht auch gleich weiter. Ich sehe auch, dass wir hier oben beim Season-Zugang noch ein paar Belohnungen haben. Ich möchte mich aber zuerst mal ein bisschen für meine Stimme entschuldigen. Die hat es nämlich ein bisschen was mitgenommen. Ich war die letzten 14 Tage ein wenig erkältet. Aber da mir gerade die Black Desert Videos ausgehen, ist es Zeit, eine neue Folge aufzunehmen oder auch 2 bis 3. Und deswegen bin ich gerade dabei. Also Season-Zugang, Inventarerweiterung, dann ist das nächste Ziel Stufe 40 erreichen und später noch Stufe 45. Aber ich glaube, wir sollten mit Jordin reden. Na komm.
There's a price I pay for using this borrowed power. Damn it. I should never have brought it forth. I reacted too emotionally earlier. Some old memories resurfaced.
They call the place Bronte's Bolt. It is a place born of conflict between two tribes.
Mit dir reden?
You were sent by the Abet shaman, Invish. It pains me to say this, but there is no path through the forest that will completely avoid the Oak Jinshini. I completely understand where Shaman Invish is coming from. The Abets and Oak Jinshini were once on quite good terms.
Da haben wir ein Level up.
Until that changed, this used to be a place of meeting. The Abet's chief Hunvish and the Oak Jinshini chief Loki were extremely close. So close that they would sit together, even during blizzards, to eat oak pills and drink together. Both are of the mountain of eternal winter, and both are children of Labreska, one born from her tears, and the other from her wounds. But soon after the recent mysterious explosion at the Shirikan iron mines, events beyond our understanding started to occur at the Abet's most sacred place, a place they considered their site of origin. When a totem in the Zavir Highlands was destroyed, the investigation unbelievably concluded that it was the doing of the Oak Jinshini. Ultimately, the Khan came to the forest in search of the truth. He brought no guards, perhaps as a sign of trust. However, that evening, we definitely heard it from high atop a hill. The forest was filled with screams that night.
Was the Khan tortured?
No. It was the screams of the Oak Jinshini. I cannot fathom what happened. However, we are certain the Khan did not re-emerge from the forest, and the angry Oak Jinshini set about destroying the village.
So, someone slaughtered the Oak Jinshini?
When the Oak Jinshini lose all physical strength, their souls return to the flame of origin, and they are reborn. Therefore, as long as their origin flame isn't extinguished, they cannot die.
Would one such as a Khan have acted so rashly with this knowledge?
As I said, his trust was enough that he went in unarmed.
However, there was one thing that was strange. The leader wasn't with the group that attacked the village, so the Oak Jinshini chief Loki has also completely disappeared. What in the world happened in the forest that night?
But Why do you want to go into the forest?
Where life and death cycles in the heavens. Is this the flame of origin you mentioned before?
Ah, yes. It is also referred to as such. But you can't go there right now. I was informed by Alici at Mountaintop Guard Post that the path of prophecy within the Jade Starlight Forest, where the flame of origin resides, is currently blocked by a mysterious wall. Thankfully, we have Assistant Pippet helping us conduct our investigations.
Did you not just say going into the forest is dangerous?
Well, Pippet is a Frosttail Weasel, so the Oak Jinshini won't attack him. Pippet said that the wall that blocks the path of prophecy appears to deteriorate as more Oak Jinshini return to the flame of origin.
It's time for you to pull your weight. Cut the Oak Jinshini down and open up the way for us. I need to rest and reserve my strength. When you're ready, let's meet at the Mountaintop Guard Post.
Schon wieder sollen wir hier die ganze Arbeit erledigen. Noch zwei. Und abgeschlossen. Da sind noch ein paar Fragezeichen. Zuerst noch aufdecken. Na komm.
If you plan to leave your horse, you need only stare into the eyes of an abandoned horse to know the depths of its sorrow.
Das ist ein Phallus gewesen.
However, I admit this act doesn't bode well for prophets. This veil also eludes others to my true emotions.
Ich hatte schon gedacht, mit ihr hätten wir schon geredet.
Ah, yes. It is also referred to...
War aber nur die gleiche Sprecherin wahrscheinlich. Und weiter. Einmal mit ihm reden. Ist ein Fragezeichen. Jodin. Nicht Jordin, Jodin.
Shh, quiet down. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing over there. Uh-oh, where did it go? I just lost it. How about you? Oh, you're coming up from the Jade Starlight Forest, right? A whole lot of souls were headed through the path of prophecy.
You're late.
Huh? You know each other? I thought you said you weren't friends.
Do we strike you as friends?
Huh. What a strange soul you are. Let's all go inside. We'll freeze if we stay out here.
The star of the Winterland seeks the face that it lost, where life and death cycles in the heavens. I've come here on account of the heir of the Khan. We could have gone straight for the path of prophecy, but...
Aber?
If there is even the slightest of odds that his father, the Khan of the Abets, is still alive, then us charging in recklessly might inadvertently sever the last thread of life he's clinging to.
Then, Ilichi, how much did the wall blocking the path of prophecy deteriorate when this person defeated the Okjinshini?
Quite a bit. However, it's not enough. It's probably just enough to put an arm through.
Then, Pivot, we need your assistance. I know you haven't forgotten the 300-year-old stink of the Okjinshini chief's feet. Sure, they're stinky, but I honestly kind of miss that stink. It's just a hunch, but... This mysterious wall blocking the path of prophecy that leads to the Flame of Origin. Do you think there's a chance it was Chief Floki's doing? We've searched the whole forest, and Floki is nowhere to be seen. The one place we haven't looked yet is inside the cave. I can't put my finger on why, but it feels like Floki trapped himself inside the cave on purpose and is waiting for someone to rescue him.
There is logic behind this. If he is not like the other Okjinshini that have become violent, he will recognize Pipit and try to somehow send out a signal.
Now, why don't we get some tea while we wait for Pipit to return?
Oh, da können wir zwei Sachen entdecken beim
Now,
Plaudern.
why don't we get some tea while we wait for Pipit to return? Now, why don't we get some tea while we wait for Pipit to return?
Und das sagt es auch schon mal. Aber wir sollten mal Tee trinken, bis das Pipit wieder da ist. Glaube ich. Es herrscht ein peinliches Schweigen.
What's that pattern on your skin? If it's a curse, I can take a look at it for you. Those clothes. You've worn them ragged. Ever thought about a new look? Clothes make it the man, as they say.
That staff. What is it?
It belonged to Bahit Lalakona, the Bahitram that first led us to the light of the Holy Flame. It was the first thing given to him by the Okjinshini when he arrived at the mountain. Legend tells that it will light up when the Yeenix returns to the mountain.
It is shining, but the light is so dark.
None of us have actually seen the fire for ourselves. Only he has. So, I see you've come to the mountain to erase that pattern that brands you.
My goodness! Ilichi, you have the ability to gaze into people's souls? I never knew.
As brilliant cities and temples collapse, and Orzeka's power dissipates, a leader among them left the cursed, forgotten, ancient kingdom behind. With a Belmorn, descendant of the kingdom of Orzeka, and names this land the Hexe Kingdom.
The very same words that constantly go through my mind. How much do you know about the Orzeka records? I want to know more about the Yeenix.
Das ist viel Wissen.
If you want to know, see for yourself. All the records here were recorded by Bahit Lalakona.
Those clothes. You've worn them ragged. Ever thought about a new look? Clothes make it the man, as they say.
Aufzeichnung lesen. Okay. Dann wahrscheinlich hier hinten.
Excerpt from the 10,119th Wish. O great Lord Kazarka, this traveler from the mountain of eternal winter comes seeking salvation. His name is Silverfrond. Will you honor him his request? The chief priest asked. Kazarka replied. Speak your wish, Silverfrond. So he did. I am cursed for loving a witch, since such love was forbidden. I know my beloved cannot be brought back to life, so I ask only that you remove the curse placed upon me by her 6 sisters.
I will grant you your wish,
Kazarka replied.
but you must bring me the Yenix, the holy flame. Nestled in the heart of the dragon that dwells in the mountain of eternal winter, I will use the flame to rid you of your curse.
Excerpt from the 13,000th Wish. O great Lord Kazarka, the traveler from the mountain of eternal winter returns. When he heard the chief priest say this, Kazarka bade Silverfrond forward.
Silverfrond, show me the Yenix.
End of the 13,000th Wish excerpt.
But Silverfrond was not alone when he came bearing the Yenix, for with him were those known as the Knights of Dawn. Orzeka fell soon after, and with its fall, Bahit Lalakona had a revelation. From that day forth, he and his people turned their worship to the holy flame that had consumed Kazarka instead.
Once the turmoil that arose from Kazarka's fall had settled, I made for the mountain of eternal winter to seek the holy flame. But the flame was not there. Silverfrond, the Knights of Dawn, neither had returned to the mountain. The mountain of eternal winter was without the Yenix. The golden dragon that once embraced the Yenix was losing her sanity. Something was gnawing at her from within. But when her tears fell and met the snow, new life suddenly bloomed like a wave of violets swaying in the wind. I named them the Oak Jinshini. The golden dragon then toppled over. And from her wounded flesh sprung more life. These I named the Abets. Finally, from her well-guarded embrace came forth those covered in dragon blood. They would come to be known as the Guardians. I then heard woeful cries coming from the foot of the mountain. The 6 witches had passed. In their wake emerged mutants, humans who had absorbed the essence of the witches and now wrought destruction upon their village. Thus was the second death of the golden dragon Labresca, a death that would cause a cataclysm of chaos to befall the Mountain of Eternal Winter.
Okay. Und jetzt wieder mit ihr reden?
Super fascinating stuff, right? I keep trying to read it myself, but it's quite a slog. I guess you're more determined than you look.
When will Pippet return? He's your only assistant, is he not?
We can always make room for more assistants. Why? Do you want to be my assistant?